Hey and welcome to another video on my channel. Today I just want to talk about the topic mounts in general. In MMOs, obviously, talking specifically about the game Guild Wars 2, if you haven't noticed in the thumbnail yet. I'm just gonna compare a few points from World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy and Guild Wars 2 again. I've done something like that already in the past, but this time it's only in regards to mounts. And I'm not gonna talk about store mounts, because I don't really mind that. I mean, that's a topic where I think nobody likes them, but nobody's gonna do anything against it since there's enough people who buy them, so nothing's gonna change. So let's just ignore the topic store mounts completely. I just want to talk about the core function of mounts. I feel like it has changed in the past, to be honest. Let's look at World of Warcraft, for example. You have three different types of mounts. You have underwater mounts, flying mounts, and mounts you can just walk on the ground normally. Now, underwater mounts, obviously, it's fair enough. You can move very fast underwater. You have the flying mounts, which basically you use on the ground and to fly. I don't think there's a person that doesn't use a flying mount. Obviously, if you're in a raid where you cannot fly, sure, if you want to use a non-flying mount there, or if you're not high enough level to fly yet, obviously that's also good. But let's talk about Final Fantasy now. Over there you have mounts that can do everything. Basically, you have an elephant that can fly, that can swim underwater, it can deep dive, it can do anything. And then basically any mount can do it. You have a car that can go underwater, you have a bike that can go underwater and can fly at the same time. So I don't think there's really a meaning to the mounts in Final Fantasy. Now people argue it's magic and who cares. To be honest, I do care about that shit. I think a lot of other people care as well, because in a game like this, which I've just noticed recently, by the way, since I'm still a new player, I didn't know about this game before. Like, I've heard the system in this game was a bit different, but I didn't know in detail what exactly was different. Now, let's talk about this in detail. In Guild Wars 2, you don't have three different types of mounts. You have like, I'll show you in detail, okay? If you go to the mount section of the game, you have, let's count them together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different types of mounts, okay? Now that doesn't mean there's only 9 looks that mounts can have and that's it. No, that means there's 9 sections where each of these sections has a different meaning and a different purpose for the game, okay? Let's say you use the raptor and you look at it. I'll mount up on it to show you. A raptor is a normal mount. You cannot fly with it, obviously. In this game, you cannot swim with it. It's useless for these reasons. The only purpose of the raptor, actually there's two, but let's talk about the first one, is that you can jump very far. Now let's say there's a gap between, let's say there was a gap between these two places. Obviously there's spots in the map where you find these gaps easily. But let's say you want to get to the stone. You use your jump and you're easily on the stone, okay? Obviously the raptor is very good for that. Let's look at the next one. The rabbit, which is called Springer. I usually call it Jumper or Springer because I get confused. I mean, it's very obvious. What would you think this mount can do? You can hold your spacebar button and you jump very far up. Now, let's say you want to get up there. That's a very good place actually to show you what I mean. Let me show you. You go to the spot and you just jump up like that and you're over it. That's pretty much the purpose of this mount. Next up, I'll show you 2 more and then we'll talk about something else because there's a lot. Obviously, I don't have all of them yet. I'll show you 2 more because that's all I have. But I can explain what these do briefly and in a speedy way. I'm just gonna show you in detail what these mounts can do. Obviously, this is an underwater mount. That you might think, okay, well, what do you want to show me about an underwater mount? Pretty much, this mount also can be used out of the water and you can hover with it. As you can see. If you don't have a flying mount, you can use this and then you're good. You don't get any fall damage, you're fine. And then there's the last one, which is the wolf from my collection so far. And the wolf, it's not that useful, but I mean, you can like do 3 jumps. You have this bar, the endurance bar, and if it's filled completely, you can do 3 jumps. I can show you again one last time and then we can talk about the other mounts. If you hold the spacebar button, then you do them all. Anyways, let's talk about the other mounts very quickly. You have the Beetle. This is basically a drift car where you're too fast, okay? If you watch a video about the Beetle mount in Guild Wars 2, you'll get surprised on how speedy you can be in this game. This mount is only for a type of game mode which is called World vs. World, which is like a big PvP arena type of shit where you have to capture different buildings. It's very big. It's like 100 versus 100 versus 100, and this is the only mount you can use over there. I don't have it yet. This is a glider, a mount to glide. You cannot really fly with this one, but if you start from a very high point, you're like faster than the Beetle, pretty much. You are very fast with this mount, and you can obviously glide with it. The normal flying mount, by the way, you cannot fly infinitely. You have the stamina bar, so you can only fly for a set amount of time. You would have to reset the stamina bar, or you could leech onto a wall, and then you reset the bar, and then you can fly more. And then you have the last one, which is the two-seater, which also can get a speed buff from the passenger, and you can shoot with these cannons. By the way, each of these mounts has a different way to attack enemies. This one heals you. This one stuns enemies. This one pulls them all together and deals some damage. Like I said, each one has different types of attacks as well. You can attack mobs with your mounts. And now, just to show you very quickly, these mounts also have different looks to them, okay? It's like you get a lot of skins for the Raptor. Some of them look really sick, in my opinion. It's obviously very subjective. This is like a snowy one. For the Rabbit the same thing. The underwater mount, you get what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of different things. Even for the wolf, you can become different animals. You're not only the wolf, you can become the fox. You can become this thing. I don't know what this is. There's a lot of different things that you can change the mounts into. So the looks are not a problem at all. Now, why am I talking about this? I feel like this is a great point to mention on where a lot of companies are sleeping, you know? World of Warcraft obviously has tried to change it a bit more on Dragonflight, where they give the dragons some abilities, but is it really enough? I feel like it's a cheap version of this game, even though this game is obviously a knockoff World of Warcraft. I mean, you cannot really say that, okay, but I can understand if people say that and why they would say that. The point that I'm trying to mention here is the mount system in this game is a clean 10 out of 10. It's so unique. You have a purpose for every single mount. When you're in different situations, I was in the jungle earlier on stream, and we had to get to a different location on the map. We had to get up very far up, and then I had to leap over to the other side, and I have to combine different mounts for it to make sense. It's not like, well, I have a million mounts, all of them do the same. Pretty much that's it. I only get them for the looks, I guess. I don't like that. I feel like I prefer it if every mount has its own meaning. Obviously, you could argue that in Final Fantasy the mounts have good music, since they have the music of the boss fight that you get them from. That point is obviously valid. If this game had that would make the game even better. So each game has like small factors where it's like, if they took that, if they mixed it all, it would be so good. Like, if you want me to mention something from World of Warcraft, I love the way that you get mounts in World of Warcraft. You do achievements, you get them from dungeons, raids, everything. Open world. The way you get mounts in World of Warcraft is the best. The way the mounts work in Guild Wars is the best. And, well, Final Fantasy, I only like the fact that they have the music. That's pretty much it. I also like, I guess, the fact that there's so many multiple seats mounts, I guess. Like there's an 8-seater or something, but it's not that important in my opinion, because usually you get mounts very easily in games. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to mention this part about every single game, compare them like that. I just wanted to show you what games could be like if they copied each other. Even if this game is not as mainstream as the other ones, it still has some very good aspects to it that people shouldn't sleep on. You could say I'm biased, I guess, because usually like recently I've been uploading more Guild Wars 2 videos, but I wouldn't really say that. I have the most playtime I have is in Final Fantasy. I have multiple of thousands of hours in Final Fantasy. I have like nearly 1k hours or like 2k hours in World of Warcraft, and like only 100 in this game. So I wouldn't understand the fact that you would call me biased in any regards. I just hope you understand my point, and maybe you learned something from this. Maybe you have a different opinion. You can tell me. I don't mind. Maybe I'll change my opinion. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like or dislike the video. Subscribe if you want to. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see me play this game live. Explore more of it. I'm learning most of this info from my Twitch chat, basically. It's mostly experienced Guild Wars 2 players who are telling me a lot about the game, and I'm turning this info into videos. One more time, thanks for watching. I hope you had a great time watching this video, and maybe I'll see you another time again. Goodbye.